Can I do 2 words?
Yes.
Okay.
What is 1 or 2 words to describe your summer?
Happy struggles.
One word that would describe my summer is adventurous.
Joyful.
Exhilarating. Redefining.
Awesome.
Defenestration.
Milk.
Ranchos.
Awkward.
Really fun, hyphenated.
Grow.
Moistened.
Moist.
Goat.
Pat. P-A-T, pat.
Epic.
Random.
Spectacular.
Chaw, dude.
Be portcullis? New.
Sick. Or noise. Can't pick.
Operations.
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 Powerful. Stereoki.
Woof.
Diving.
Adventures.
Friendship.
Lice. Exciting.
Sleep. Tiring.
Blessing.
Oh boy. Sandre. Involved.
Growth.
Adventure hyphen discipline.
Wow.
Intricate.
Torpedo.
Damascus.
The longest ride.
Full of laughter.
Squad. Balls out.
The men's room was disgusting.
Lit.
Andy.
Mumphy. Whatcha?
Big O Bandit.
Quiche.
Extra.
Amazing.
Life-changing.
Experience.
Our God is a possum.
God.
Well, howdy, y'all!
Fantastic.
Transformative. Genuineness.
Oh, that's true.
All right. An exciting story is we were at the rock quarry with part of our break, and we went up to just test something out, but it didn't go as well as we thought it would. So we were searching around the rock quarry, just looking what was there, and we found this canoe in the bushes. So we take the canoe.
And so we're bringing it up, and then we're sitting at the top, and we want to go down the hill in the canoe, but nobody wants to be the person to go down the hill in the canoe because it's steep and stupid. So we're sitting up there for like 30 minutes trying to figure out who it is, and then Ehud just goes, "All right, I'm ready."
And I'm just like, have this epiphany. I'm like, there's no problem with going. So I just tell Nadar, hey, push me. So he just pushed me down. Whoosh.
And at the bottom, the canoe flipped. And so Ehud was lying on the ground in pain, and me and Ulysses were at the top, just like freaking out, thinking he's hurt really badly. But he got up, and he was okay. Walk it down slowly as possible.
Don't fall, don't fall! I flipped and didn't die. So it was worth it.
He was fine, so that was good. Yeah, that went well.
So one time in the kitchen, Phil's wife came in when I was working front counter, and I didn't know it was Phil's wife. I thought it was just a guest grouper. And she goes, "Hey, is there like a big bearded guy in the kitchen?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me grab him for you." "Hey Danny, come here for a second."
I was very flattered that someone would mistake me for Phil. I mean, it's just sad that my beard is not as glorious as his.
And she looks at me like I'm some kind of idiot. She's like, "Never mind, I'll go find him myself." And I'm like, "Wait, why is this guest grouper walking through the kitchen?" And then I see her go to Phil, and I'm like, "Oh, that's his wife."
So, okay, one time during family camp, we were cutting off the line because we closed for their like chapel thing, and this lady was at the end of the line, and we're like, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, we're cutting it off right at the person before you." And so she got like super upset about it, and she was like, "But I need this coffee." And we're like, "Well, we're sorry, man, like we don't want to make you late for session." Like storms out the door, and then she comes back like 5 minutes later with Osea, and she's crying, and she's like a 55-year-old woman, and she got to cut the line, and it was so awkward because people around us were saying like it's not their fault and stuff, and
Yeah, like everyone around us was like, what are you
doing? Like, that's really rude. But she just kept crying, and then she walked out with her drinks, and it was really funny. But
More of
also
an awkward story than a funny story.
So yeah.
Well, I'd have to say when a 10-year-old boy came into the gift store to be consoled because he had just broken up with his 2-day relationship with another 10-year-old. He's like, she broke up with me and it's over, and I loved her, I thought it was real. And I was like, I'm sorry, did you even date? He's like, well, I asked her to the waterfront. And then he's like, is that a date? Personally, at 10 years old, I wouldn't say that was a date. He's like, I don't think I'll ever recover. And he threw his towel over his head and stormed out. And I was like, I don't know how helpful I was, I'm sorry.
One time, in the canteen, a girl asked me if she could have some cramps. And I said, I don't think you want those yet. And she said, oh, I meant champs. The end.
There was also a camper who came up and asked for a fruit by the loon instead of a fruit by the foot once. I really like that one.
There is a group that comes for 4th of July family camp called the Proudies, who, what's the right word? Appreciates O-Team. And they give us ice cream sundaes at the end of 4th of July family camp. They've been doing this for a couple years, and we don't tell the new O-Teamers about this because it's more fun if it's a surprise. So if you know it's coming, great, but if you don't, surprise. Anyway, so we tried to keep the surprise element, and we decided to meet up. We talked to them, and we were going to meet up right after the parade on whatever day that was for 4th of July family camp.
So we pull up to the ball field in the truck, and there's nobody on the ball field at all. We're the only ones there. So we're like, we need to figure out a way to stall for time.
And Brett is running up to me, and he's just like, no one's here! And so we're panicking a little bit because we're trying to keep up the surprise for O-Team, but then also what do we do? And so we look around the ball field and we think okay, what do we have to work with here? Okay, special bus, Citrus, now known Julius. I'm driving Rover, and we have a golf cart. So, okay.
So we decided that this would be a great time to move all the vehicles that were up at the parade that we didn't use back to the shop. So we load up the special bus, and Brett gets a golf cart, and I'm in a truck, and Stephanie's in a truck, and we take them all back up to the shop, and round in the corner, and Brett has a golf cart, and 4 of the wooden golf cart backs all on the back of his golf cart.
Sean said that it would be a great idea for us to pile all 6 of the wooden golf cart bed edges, for lack of a better word, on the one golf cart. So that's what we do. We stack all 6 of them onto the back of this one golf cart, and then we caravan out to the shop because we told O-Team that we had to go push a golf cart and shuffle vehicles back to the shop.
Normally we would tow this back to the shop with a truck, but we're just going to have O-Team push it all the way back.
As we were rounding the big curvy part that goes up to the ball field, we were going down. But going down to the ball field, we just stopped. And we're stopped there for a good amount of time. And Sprout was with me in the cab of Rover, and we're just not sure what's going on, what's happening. Carl's behind me, and he's yelling, what's with the backup? And I don't know, because I can just see the special bus. I have no idea what's going on in front. And then I just see Brett emerge from in between the woods and the special bus with 2 of the big wooden edge pieces in his hands, and he's just like, they all fell out!
Eventually they get back, we pick them up in the truck, and take them back to the ball field, where the Proudies are waiting for us with ice cream.
So we get up there, and they are there, thank goodness, our stalling worked. And then, as we're about to start, Brett convinces everyone that we need to push Fergie back to the shop as well, because it's dead.
So I convinced all of O-Team that we're now pushing the other truck all the way back to the shop from the ball field. And they were totally into it. It was great. But we didn't actually make them do it. That would have been pretty funny though. And then we ate ice cream. It was awesome.
Remo comes up and is like, and now I will invite Jixie up to help us lead the closing chapel song. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can do that. So I get up there, and I stand there and say, please stand for the closing chapel song.
And then all of a sudden, Jixie starts singing the Let Us Be One Voice song. that I still don't know the words to. So that was really funny. I was trying not to laugh the entire time.
And realizing really quick when no one else is catching on to the song that it's the wrong chapel song. I'm singing the staff chapel song, not the kids' chapel song. So then I'm just standing there singing a solo in front of everyone. There's some staff members that joined in. Thank you to those of you who did. And so it was super embarrassing. So then we get to the end of that song. Because we had to sing the whole thing. It would have just been worse if I just stopped in the middle of the song. So we sing the whole thing. And I stand there and I say, and now the closing chapel song. And I stand there and I cannot think of the words to the chapel song. So I turn to Remo and I go, what are the words? And he just goes, and neither of us can think of the words to the closing chapel song, so we're just standing there in front of everyone, and then suddenly someone in the amphitheater starts singing it, and we all join in.
And I continued to laugh through that one as well. So that was pretty interesting night. Ended on a lighter note than normal.
They still felt Jesus that night, but I biffed it. Or I bit the fork on that one, as T-Rock would say.
This one time I ripped my pants, and I had to go tell Chris that I ripped my pants. And then he was like, well, go up to the front office because I don't have anything. So then I had to go ask Asea for some safety pins and or duct tape. And then I tried to safety pin my pants together, and then they just ripped even more. And then I had to walk around just like grabbing my legs so nobody saw my undies.
The first beginning of the summer, we had trouble running horses. They would just not leave the pasture. And so it got to the point where, well, we needed extra help. And so we called Rob. And there's Rob on his quad, waiting for us. Granted, it's 6:30 in the morning. Now, the thing is Rob has his own quad, but his daughters also have quads. And Rob's quad did not start that morning, so you have to picture this, Rob on a quad too small for him, all ready to set the stage. Now, we had a plan where we'd all be in place before Rob went ahead and gunned it, but he started a little too soon. And so before you know it, he starts tearing after all the tweeners, and they part like the Red Sea, and there's an open gate in front of them. They don't go out the gate. So, needless to say, the rest of the morning was spent hearing Rob yell, "Yah! Yah!" all over the pasture. And until at one point he looked and he saw a horse called North, and so he guns it around one of the tires that we feed, and he gets the tire caught right in the fence. So we hear yell Rob, "Get off me!" And then we have to run over to obviously help him get out of the fence. And so he runs after, and even though he goes, and by that point it's getting a little personal because not all the horses are leaving. So he yells, "One more time!" And at the same time, Rowan's going, "No, Rob, no, it's okay, it's okay." He loses the black radio in the process, and finally all the horses are left out. I think the entire people that live on Easy Street were awake. And at that point, Rob is so ready to be done with this that he goes, "I'll run him all the way to the barn." And he takes off in that quad faster than I've ever seen anyone ride that. And the horses run so fast to the barn that by the time we get there, they're all shaking and they're sweating. And anyway, it was a fun morning and we haven't had any problems since.
I just don't want anyone to forget that Pat had comb feet and that this is mostly Forehead's fault. But the only way to cure comb feet for Pat was for him to die. But thankfully, it's week 5. Pat's still alive. He's had comb feet a few times, but I'm pretty sure he's outside right now having fun.
Yeah, during training week, I decided it was a good idea to jump out of White Lightning while it was moving. The thought process behind that was I was going to save Opa time from having to stop at T-Rock, and I jumped out and then started walking, did a tuck and roll, and ended up beautifully scraping my knee.
Stories, Brightwood, week 2, definitely got engaged to 4 different people over the course of a week, including Putter the golf cart. So yeah, my girls were kind of boy obsessed.
So one of my campers was
late and I had to leave chapel. I come in and 2 seconds of her being in the door, she says, "Look, my shoes are black and you're African American." So at this point I'm like crying, laughing. But then I turn around and her mom's like,
Today, actually, I was just being a good Ranchie and I was doing my chores just like I was told. And Roanne came up behind me and was like, "You know what we haven't done this summer? Thrown someone in the stock tank." And then with my phone and my radio in my pocket, she picked me up by the armpit and Ellie picked me up by the leg pit. My knees, those are my knees. And then they threw me in the stock tank. And that happened and I cried. I didn't actually cry.